Hello dear friends, today we are going to talk about two very important tests which are conducted at the SSB center, that is OIR and the PP&DT. So what are these two tests? So on the day one, that is the stage one or the screening test which is called, these two tests are being conducted. So these are officers intelligence rating test, that is the OIR, and the picture perception and discussion test, that is the PP&DT. So what are these two tests comprised of? Today we shall be talking about that. So first we will talk about OIR test. This comprises of two kind of intelligence test questions. First is the verbal intelligence test and then the non-verbal intelligence test. And in the non-verbal and verbal, what are the kinds of questions which have been asked? So in the OIR verbal reasoning, the question could be based on spelling. These are to test the understanding of the language. So spelling could be what is the right word, or what is this word is rightly spelled. And then question could be based on grammar. So what is the grammatical mistake in a particular sentence, or some 2-3 sentences have been given, or maybe few jumbled sentences could be given. So grammatically you have to arrange that. And then verbal analogies and synonyms, antonyms. So these are to check the understanding of the language. The understanding has to be very precise so as to pick the right answer from the given choices. And then idioms, the question could be based on idioms, what is the right idiom for that. And then sentence completion, so a sentence could be given and the choices are given in the answers, so you have to tick the right answers of how this sentence will be completed in that using the right word from the given choices. And then the question could be on the word groups, your critical reasoning, verbal deduction and comprehension. And sometimes you could be given a small comprehension passage and then the answers based on that you have to attempt the questions like that. So just as a sample, I have just showing you a few questions, that these are spelling based question, which is the right word in this, and same for this, and then which of the word completes the sentence in a way that makes the most sense, or I mean how this sentence will be completed. So these are the kind of questions which have been asked to test the verbal intelligence of the candidates during the OIR test. So normally there would be 40 to 60 questions, and the time varies as per the difficulty level of the question. So but these will be generally asked on these all kind of aspects or different kind of question based on these. Now moving on to the OIR non-verbal reasoning. So this non-verbal reasoning test is comprises of series of patterns and figures. So you are to pick the right choice from the given choices of what the particular series or figures what will come next to that. So as a sample, I have just stated few of the, as you are aware, these kind of question you would have attempted many of times. These are basic non-verbal reasoning kind of questions. So based on these similar kind of question, the OIR test has been given, or the questions have been given in that. And then we come to the picture perception and discussion test. As you can see, the two pictures which are a little hazy. So these kind of picture are been given to the candidate, and then candidate has to write the story on that. So the duration for that is the picture is shown for 30 seconds and candidate has to write in a short span of 4 minutes a story on that particular picture. And then post, when you have attempted your this particular story you have written, and then candidates have been grouped into small groups. They may range from 15 to 18 person in a group, and then each and every candidate has to narrate his or her story. And then post that, once each and every candidate has narrated his story, then as a group group has to come to a common story of the group. So basically this is a test of group exercise. It's a stressful activity in a sense, and then the group members discuss and they come out with a common story amongst the group members. So although this is a simple test, but it is quite stressful activity, and this is the test which eliminates majority of the candidates. So this is very, very important. And then what are the various attributes which have been assessed? So during your PP&DT, all the 3 assessing officers of the board, they are present. So each and every candidate will be assessed by them on these parameters. So your intelligence and imagination will be assessed or seen by the assessing officers, all the 3 officers, and then your self-confidence, that once you are narrating your story, what is the confidence of the candidate while narrating the story amongst the group members, and then power of expression, that how well a candidate is able to communicate to the group. And then motivation and zeal to perform. So once the group discussion is happening, how well you are or a candidate is motivated, and how that spirit of the candidate is being seen by the assessing officers. And then social adjustment, because it is a group activity, so each and every candidate the behavior amongst the group or members of the group has been looked at. And then assertiveness and ability to lead the groups in positive direction. So the assertiveness is very important, because how one is able to assert himself, how well he is able to communicate or able to influence the group members, and so as to arrive at a positive outcome or a positive or a common story, as in the case of PPDT, so as each and every member of the group is you have been a good participant and then come to the conclusion in togetherness. So these are the various aspects which have been seen during this activity. So these are very important tests while you are there at the screening or the stage 1 process of the SSB. And this there are few mistakes which normally happens during this. So sometimes what happens is that you have written a good story, but when it comes to narrating, you have not narrated it well. So that is very important to practice and being prepared for that. And sometimes what happens is that you have narrated your story, written your story, narrated your story, but when it comes to discussion amongst the group members, maybe your participation is not there. And sometimes it may happen that you have narrated, you have written, you have narrated, but you are the only one who has been talking or who has not let others speak. So even that is also not desirable in these. So these are the common mistakes which many of the candidates they do. So it is always good to be prepared for that. So you need to write well so that your story is normal. It should not be a pre-prepared kind of a story, and it should be like that whatever picture has been given to you, you are looking at that picture absolutely normally, and then you are able to write a genuine story with which is going in a positive direction. And then when you are able to, when you are there in the group, you are able to narrate your story well amongst the group members. And once the discussion is happening amongst the group members, you are able to participate well and then come with a common story as in when this discussion is happening. So these are the various things which one must look at when you are there at the SSB center and undergoing these tests of OIR and especially PP&DT. So that's how the test of stage 1 screening test happens at the SSB, and the most of the candidates, I mean 40 to 50% of the candidates, they have been screened or retained, and rest are eliminated in this process. And the candidates, those who are retained, they move on to the stage 2. So for the stage 2, there are various tests which have been conducted at the SSB center, which we shall be talking later in our further videos. So that's all for today. Thank you.